If I could wave a magic wand and change one thing about corporate L&D, it would be this. I would make L&D teams believe that they had to sell their solutions to business leaders and team members. Not sell like persuade, as in people have to actually choose to spend money on their courses and learning solutions. I think the difference in quality and impact we get from internal teams would be staggering. Any team that creates products or services that people are forced to use plays by different rules. It's essentially like having a government-mandated monopoly on something. The way you think about creating value in those conditions is just different. It's too easy for good enough to become the status quo. And those are the exact conditions that most internal L&D teams work in. I have often heard people say that if you can identify the incentives, you can predict the outcome. And the general outcome that we have in corporate L&D is exactly what you'd expect from a group whose customers have nowhere else to go. But if we thought people had the choice to spend money on our learning solutions or one of our competitors, everything would be different. To sell something to someone, you have to know what they need, know what they want, know what pain they're experiencing, and what they've already tried to fix it. Then you have to make something that addresses those things. And you can't just make something valuable. The customer needs to believe that it's valuable before they use it, or they'll never buy it. And in the long run, if the customer has a choice, you can't get away with making something that seems valuable but actually isn't, because your customers will never come back after you damage their trust. L&D teams have all the skills and tools to do this. They just don't have the right incentives. And it's easy to see this if you compare L&D to other teams that do very similar tasks. For example, let's take a look at a creative marketing team. Both teams write scripts, film and edit videos, create graphics, launch campaigns, create print materials, write articles, use storyboards, track participation and engagement, and many other things. In fact, it's not uncommon for both teams to use the same tools to do these things, although L&D often settles for cheaper and less powerful versions of the same tools marketing uses. But the quality coming from the marketing department is almost always many levels beyond what comes from the L&D team, because their goals and incentives are fundamentally different. Marketing has to persuade customers that their product is worth buying. L&D knows that they are their customers' only choice. Before I go any further, I need to say something. I know this field is full of exceptional people who do incredible work. I wouldn't be here doing this if I didn't love this community. I'm the product of leaders, mentors, and team members who went above and beyond what was expected of them, and I've met countless other people just like them. But I believe both things can be true. We can have a community with lots of passionate people who care a lot and exceed expectations, and at the same time have a systematic problem that leads to a lot of underwhelming solutions. The best teams I know are delivering way more than what's necessary to keep their jobs. They're over-delivering in a system that would happily accept less. I'm not saying that all learning solutions need to be launched like a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign, and I'm not trying to promote perfectionism, although at times I think we may have overcorrected for that, but that's a topic for another video. I just think there's no reason that L&D's content can't be just as persuasive, useful, and engaging as the content coming from other teams. At the very least, we can be creating content that's just as good as a mid-level social media influencer. A lot of those influencers don't have a lot of resources either. They just have a phone, a lapel mic, and CapCut, and yet their audience keeps choosing to come back for more. The funny thing is, over the long run, the businesses we serve will respond just like a customer you have to sell to. There's just a big delay in the feedback loop. If we don't deliver real value, they will eventually stop using our services, which results in downsizing L&D teams and relying more on external vendors for training content. But it doesn't have to be this way. We have all the skills and resources we need to make world-class solutions. If you want to level up your game but you're not sure where to start, I would find a creator or leader that you admire and start imitating them. We can learn a lot by mimicking and adapting what other people do. If you want to dive deeper into that idea, you should check out the Everything is a Remix video series. It's awesome. You don't need a bigger budget or a new LMS. You just need to start thinking like someone who has to earn attention instead of expecting it. If you had a magic wand, what would you change?